Okay, it says go live. Bloody hell, that was fast. Welcome everyone to the Moisky Live channel for this week's political recap stream. I am, of course, Omegon. Joining me as always is, after a 2-week hiatus, the delicious Trups LP. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups
Jeez,
LP.
that was a delay. How is Trups
Sorry,
LP?
my brain stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, brain stopped. So we know that's how good things are going.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yep. I've noticed a few times where it said you're live, right? And I said countdown from 5. When I've hit it though, it has actually caught me saying countdown from 5.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, and I'm sat here like, why? You haven't even said I've gone live. What is wrong with you? Oh, it's embarrassing. I'm trying to be so professional. You know what you need to do? Get like a intro video thing, so I can just...
Yeah, I thought about that, actually.
I need to up my OBS foo, I guess, and learn how to do these things, which, well, I have a reason to do that now, don't I? If I want to improve things a bit. That could be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've been trying to figure that out for my own channel, too. But I've also not known how I really want to proceed, but,
So what's been going on in the world of Trups for the last 2 weeks?
Oh, the world of Trups is, well, mostly I'm packing up my apartment.
There, Trups donated $5. Buy yourself some chocolate.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Chocolate is good.
Chocolate is good.
No, Trups is trying to figure out how to pack up his apartment so that I may move into a house in a couple weeks.
Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
More space.
Yes, much more space.
Adulting.
Something to call my own.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's very mature. Look at you all grown up. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Here I am doing nothing.
Well, you know what? We're here doing nothing together at the moment, so might as well do that.
Yeah.
Now, question for you: how is the reception of the new presidency in the UK?
Before we get to
that,
hey, Omegon donates £3. Send some chocolate to Trups. Well, I'm not going to eat it myself because I'm trying to lose the Christmas weight, not gain. So that's a good idea. Perception of Biden. In PMQs, it was hailed as a positive moment where hope had won, where all the good had succeeded because big bad Trump was out, and
interesting.
And that's how a few of the politicians played it. I did get quite snarky on Twitter to Caroline Lucas about it, to Ian Blackford, because it's just the virtue signalling. Boris, he did say congratulations, but he didn't go too far in on it, which I think was the right way to go about it, because, to be honest, Biden said we go to the back of the line, whereas Trump wanted to sign a deal with us. It wouldn't take long to get a deal with us, whoever was president, but he's just taking it and gone, nah, I'm just going to carry on with Obama's policies and the taxing thing. Oh dear. But as far as perception goes, he is being seen as a saviour, where the majority of people in this country, I guarantee you will think this: no single individual can change a country in 4 years. You're out of your fucking minds. Grow the fuck up, you ideologues. It's pathetic. But, media does a job, and makes it seem as if Biden's a hero. The only pictures, by the way, I've seen of Biden so far, he looks exhausted already. And, I get it. Stressful job, new thing, but that's not a good sign this early on. Even if that happened to Boris, I honestly would say the same thing. I'd say the same for any politician that didn't look like they from the outset. Outward appearance didn't look
like they're handling things well.
Yeah, I have seen some of the policies already being signed. The the coronavirus-related stuff about masks on all federal property, and there's a picture of Biden standing in front of the statue of Abe Lincoln or whatever, and people saying that's federal property, therefore he's broken the rules because he's not wearing a mask. But I think that was before he signed the bill or whatever it was he'd wanted to do. So I didn't think it was much of a point. Could just be me on that one, though. He's only slightly further from dementia than Trump. That, to be honest, it was a contest to see who was further. It was a close one. But I mean,
well, you know, I never thought that Trump was really displaying that many signs of dementia, but it may be, you know, the rose-colored glasses that I'm looking at it from, right?
Possibly. I mean, as an Englishman, I just think both were hilarious candidates anyway. One, because he's clearly not mentally capable. And that's where I'm going to leave that point. The like button donated £2. Where is my love? Give me the love. Thank you for the £2 donation. The like button. Sorry, I can't read. Apparently, I'm also
the love button.
on the way to dementia.
The love button.
The love button. Yes. It's next to the prostate.
Go ahead. Figure that one out.
It's next to the prostate. Okay, it's next to the prostate.
Ah, yes. Actually, yeah, I think Normie in the chat has it right. Trump had energy. That may be where my brain says that he's not that dementia-ridden.
I do want to say, for the sake of transparency, I don't think Biden has dementia. I do think there is I don't know. As an Englishman, we look at somebody. A lot of us do look at them and say he's fit to lead, but I'm looking at him thinking if the guy sits down, he's not getting up again.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean he's fit to lead. Okay, and I already saw a lot of people. How was it? Charming Man Mitch. he made a very good point about many of the alt centrists who, now that this has gone the way they didn't want it to go, they have immediately turned on each other or gone uber defensive and then flip-flopped because they now no longer know where where they stand. They don't know because Trump was something different. He wasn't really a Republican, and that's why they liked him. I liked him because he was absolutely fucking hilarious. Fabio Jesus. How dare you say what you said about the person you were talking about in a way that you talked about them. Thank you for the £1.23. That was just what I fucking wanted. Fabio _ Jesus.
those were some words.
Yeah. How dare I? Yes. Oh no, it's not Repeater Friday, is it? On Friday, for the sake of last Friday, it was my birthday. I did a stream on the main channel. I had Alex with me.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah. That.
I didn't see the actual stream. I just know that you did it.
I think "did it" is the inaccurate way of describing my. It's like the emperor sat on the golden throne. I endured it for the greater good of the people.
So what you're telling me is it was like what was it? Our freaking debate.
They hazed me with their generosity and put really
did they?
With really cringy comments. It was so bad.
Huge. Good job, guys. I'm proud of y'all.
I was screaming into my hands at one point. It's quite audible.
Yes,
hush, Flabio. 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 Thanks, Saki. But yeah, as a outward thing on Biden, I think in the UK, we want him to come sign a deal. I know he's coming to Cornwall, I believe, is on the stops. We ideally would want a full presidential visit and obviously negotiations for a trade deal. But if he is going to cozy up to the EU, which we don't know if is true or not, I think then obviously we then have to consider other trade deals. Simple as that. But we, of course, would want a deal with the US. It's interesting, though, since Theresa May, I have not heard I haven't heard her or Boris Johnson talk about the special relationship that many know about between our countries. Now, Theresa May did say it early on, but she killed it because obviously it's Trump. It's very difficult to it was normally the way it used to defend Trump's, air quotes, bad behavior, end air quotes. But it hasn't been said yet with Biden. I haven't heard it mentioned yet. It hasn't been seen in articles yet. It's quite odd because of how close. One moment. NRGH, please turn yourself up or Trups down, Senpai. Thank you for the £3 donation. I didn't realise I was so quiet. I will turn. Oh yeah, my microphone is coming through quite low. Let me turn this up. Is that up? Is that up? I don't know. I'll turn you down.
Is it up? Is it up?
I'll just turn you down. Apparently my audio level is as high as it goes. Saki, for the Skog. Hope it works this time. Thank you for the donation. Yeah. Thanks for that, guys. What is a trucking side panel? It's for my Euro Truck streams. It helps me key in all the functions in a truck in the game I can't use on my steering wheel. And my keyboard is in an odd position, so I can't get to it. So something more efficient that clamps to my desk. So we want we want Biden to do the deal, but it's unlikely. If we can get it, great. But if we go into the back of the line so that President Biden can instead do deals with the EU, that's fine. That really is. My view is, and it's actually something I'm going to be mentioning on this channel on Monday, is thank you, Mel Clump, for the very generous $10 donation. That's very kind of you. Let's see. Biden would like to deal with President Biden would like to deal with an organization, which is what the EU are, instead of a nation, which is really strange to me, because that gives the EU more legitimacy as a nation itself. And preferential treatment, which I find very odd, but I know he'll use the excuse of I'm Irish Catholic. Doesn't work for me. And
now we already know that Biden leans towards more international organizations. I'll use that phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
He's already rejoined the WHO. He's rejoined the Paris Climate Accords.
Yeah.
I think he wants to go back to doing what he was doing with NATO, what the US was doing with NATO, where we basically foot the bill for everybody. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if you start to see pressure from the United States to the UK to bend to more EU policy.
Honestly, I'm expecting it as a sort of leverage point. Yeah. I'm not okay with this. I also, by the way, do not agree that the US is the world. It's the same with the UK when we cut off foreign aid. We're not reduced it. We're not the World's Bank, and nor are you. In fact, you don't have the money to be the World's Bank. You've got a big economy. It doesn't mean you're the World's Bank. It just means you have a big economy.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the ideas you're possibly the tax ideas being brought forward, for example, taxing Amazon. Best of luck with that. They'll just move their business, and you know they will. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work. It's like Google. I get paid from Google in Ireland.
Well, did you see that in terms of like taxing Amazon, taxing the big companies? Did you see that Poland I think they were either proposing a law or they had passed a law that imposed fines on social media companies that impeded free speech.
Big shocker, huh?
Well, based Poland is more the comment that I was thinking of.
With Poland, yeah, I do. Okay, so if for example they were pushed out of Amazon decided to up and leave, that would cause a huge issue with workers' rights in New York, where there was an issue when it came to a warehouse or a facility for Amazon, and in Washington, the state, where they have a rather large facility. If they moved all that to the EU, they couldn't. I don't think they would, actually. I think they'd move it somewhere else where workers' rights aren't guaranteed under EU law. The Work Time Directive really does protect EU workers. And yes, Germany is in fact the World's Bank. You're quite right, actually.
Well, does that mean that China is the world's debtor?
China's going to be paying for a lot of debts in a minute. Yeah. Oh, hang on, no, I heard, actually, no, you mentioned that. I'd already heard that in your country, China had been granted access to your power grid, I believe, to upgrade it.
I'm sorry?
I believe I saw that earlier.
Oh, no.
I'll have to find it. Oh, God. I did see the article. I saw it. It was either the BBC. It might have been the BBC. I have to find it. China access US power grid. That would be easier. Oh. Apparently I'm wrong. I swore I saw it earlier, though. Never mind. I know there was a deal being agreed upon, but I don't know if that has already happened. Thought I'd let you know. Consider it fake news until I can prove otherwise. My apologies.
Yes, that's all right. I don't necessarily. I don't. I feel like that's almost too sensationalist to be real.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's why I'm quickly having a look, because I don't want to.
Because that seems almost like too likely or too
Where did I
too
see
much.
it? I didn't see it on Twitter because I wasn't on there long enough. Oh well. How was the reaction in the US so far?
The reaction in the U.S. So mixed is kind of how I would describe it. The reason why I would say mixed is mostly because what you have at the moment is a whole bunch of you have people who are now kind of jokingly saying like, oh, resist or not my um, not my president, that kind of thing.
Right.
So there are a bit of different things going on with that. I would say the vast majority coming from the people is general discontent. And what you get from the media industry as a whole is like absolutely gushing about the situation. I mean, absolutely freaking gushing about it, and that's it's disgusting, honestly, to see it, because there's a certain level of I don't know how you would describe it, but there's a certain level of like subtlety you kind of expect, you kind of hope, but there's no subtlety. Like the lights flashing across the reflection pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial. One guy said it was like Joe Biden's arms stretching out to embrace this country. When Lady Gaga started to sing the national anthem, the clouds parted,
Don't.
and it was like God's grace was shining down upon
I
them. It was
cringed.
absolutely disgusting.
No. Okay, so I will say I did watch the inauguration. It was incredibly cringy. Gaga's outfit was over the top. J-Lo singing songs over the top. It was just too much. Honestly, I can handle certain amounts. All I wanted to see was him be sworn in. That was and Vice President Harris. I had little interest in anything else. But I kept it on Twitter, the live feed there, and I had to mute it. It was just so. It was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. By the way, most people have been referring to Biden as Beijing Biden, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I've done a little Google search here about Biden and China, and you'll get the same results about Biden hoping to forge a grand Western alliance to stand up to China, which would be a bit tricky because not so long ago the EU signed a comprehensive investment agreement with China, so that can't happen. Guessing Italy's voices when it comes to the death toll from COVID is dead in the water. And he's also not going to rush to fix the China trade war, which tells me that perhaps there were some aspects of what Trump was doing that he's actually in favour of, which would be a bit of a contradiction to the nickname he's been given, right?
A bit, yeah.
Do you think he'll perhaps change his opinion on that or not? I mean, the first 100 days will be
Not
the real...
publicly, you see, not publicly. He may privately, but the thing is, right now, what you're going to have, the biggest change in the entirety of U.S. politics is you are no longer going to hear when something bad happens. So, whereas the media was looking for any and all reasons to pin something on Donald Trump. What you are going to have now is you are going to have a whole lot of amazing or unnecessary reporting about the Biden administration. You're going to hear about his dog, about his wife and how she matched her mask and her heels at the inauguration. You're going to hear about I don't know what Joe Biden does to stay fit or something like that. What you are not going to hear.
Does he jog with a cardboard
What?
cutout of Obama?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you're not going to hear is that kids in cages are still happening. What you're not going to hear is that we drone strike something in Syria.
Wasn't there more talk of more troop deployment in some of the Middle
Iraq and
East?
Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
Oh, well, I wouldn't call it odd. At this point, I would call it predictable.
I was being sarcastic, but thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I
see.
mean.
I've almost kind of like lost a bit of my a little bit of the snippy edge because the game was funny and now it's bad.
Apparently,
right?
Apparently that kind of goes against. Well, I say apparently, it does in fact go against much in the way of the peace talks and withdrawal numbers that we were getting under the bad man, the one they're trying to impeach, but are actually postponing the impeachment trial through the Senate because COVID is priority.
Well, right. And speaking of COVID being the priority, the 1.9 trillion dollar stimulus is totally for COVID and nothing else.
Hang on,
right?
hang on. Is that the one where hundreds of millions goes to other nations?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
Oh, hang on.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Spare change, £1.77. Fixed it. Thank you for the very generous donation. It's very kind of you for a nice even number. I hope your autism feels better now.
My autism?
The person who donated that to give me a round number on the donation bar.
I thought you were talking about my autism. I was
Sure.
like, well,
don't. I'm going to get cancelled for saying that now.
I was going to make a joke, and then I realized that I'm on YouTube, and I can't.
Don't.
The one that gives Americans about $3.50. Yeah, that one.
Is that? That's That's true.
Yeah.
The wall was hardly built. That is true. I mean, there's still a piece of it.
Yeah, he inspected it. In fact,
Signed it.
and the Democrats apparently actually agree with walls.
Actually, that was something. Okay, so many people in UK did point out in articles I did see when they were talking about policies that Biden was going to rescind, and in the comments of even like the Daily Mail, BBC, Guardian, Independent, wherever comments could exist, many pointed out the Muslim ban was not Trump's; it was actually Obama's. The wall had been a long touted idea from Democrats.
A lot of people.
Yeah, Democrats and Republicans. So it's only bad because a non-politician said he'd do it.
Yeah.
And he did some of it, which, I'll be honest, well done. I mean, you didn't build all of it. I wasn't expecting it in one term, to be honest. I fully expected most of it to be done in 2 terms if you could have retained the House. But, as is customary, you don't retain the House. Everyone knows this. Do you think they're going to be sly about signing something with the ATF? Well, that's a question.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Biden already said when he was sworn in, now that Biden has sworn in, the mask has come off in certain aspects.
Shocker.
The things that Republicans and conservatives were warning about, he's doing those things. So the ATF, he still believes in getting rid of high-capacity magazines, though he can't articulate those words. What he said was guns with clips with multiple bullets. And I'm like, yes, most. In fact, all that are
just sell the gun, but
that are magazines.
Just sell the gun and not the magazine. It can only hold one.
Yeah, it holds one bullet. We are doing back to black powder fucking rifles where you had to load the damn thing with a big L stick.
Yes. I like the sound of this.
Yes. You should like the sound of it. It was the last thing that.
Yeah, resist the urge. No, I got you.
No. Well, I was about to say that it was the last thing that the UK ever heard from America, and then I remember that you came back in 1812 and burned down the White House.
We had dinner. We had dinner first. You left there was some food out, so we had that first, and then we torched the place. That's not even a joke. We legit did that.
Oh, I know. We fixed it though. We built it again, and then we pushed it in a little bit.
It's our favorite.
So y'all couldn't shoot it.
It's our favorite story because the nosh was good. Oh dear. So okay, the mask has started to slip.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean,
and the other thing that he had already signed was, or he's already said, is that yes, we're going to follow through with a ban on fracking. Oh,
I don't care about fracking at the moment.
Pennsylvania.
Hang on, isn't Pennsylvania wasn't that a coal-rich area?
Yes, and natural gas.
Oh right, well then that's
That was the whole thing in like the first debate where Biden said nobody in Pennsylvania should vote for this man because he will basically gut your economy, your state economy, by his proposed efforts.
So if he bans fracking, what takes its place?
That's a great fucking question.
I assume unemployment.
Yeah, unemployment sounds like the plan right now because renewable energy, when they say, yeah, we're going to switch to renewable energy, okay, how?
Yeah, I'm
or
sorry.
What?
How are you going to do a tidal farm in the middle of a mine, a quarry?
State.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. You wind energy, maybe. I don't know. Do you get many hurricanes there that can suddenly charge enough batteries to survive a winter?
Not likely, considering being landlocked. Not likely to hit those nor'easters.
I need to know this information, but isn't Pennsylvania also known as a swing state?
It was because
it did swing.
It was said that was what that was.
Right. So if you're betraying a huge amount of workers, you're kind of losing votes here. And
yes.
He'll lose the House, if he keeps doing things that betray those states that trust him, or of trusting him with this. And that's not a good sign.
Allegedly.
Sure.
States that trust him.
Sure. I would say that, we all expected a mask to slip, which is why I liked Trump, because there was never any pretense. And I say this
right. He was exactly what you thought he was.
A dick. I'm English.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have to think about it because I'm not involved in US politics beyond this stream with Trumps.
Normie...
Go on.
Normie says something too. Also, a pipeline construction. The XL Keystone Pipeline was also shut down by executive order, which Canada is filing a lawsuit about.
So I had heard about that because I saw that in the list of things that Biden had done in the first 12 hours, I think. It was first 12, which included the federal property, wearing a mask. Fully, and be honest, the only thing I took interest in was the decoration. It just, that was interesting to me. So I retweeted it because someone put a picture of Trump's office, which was really bright with a cream rug, and then
I saw you
with the very.
You had posted
because I don't take issue with the decorating. It's a waste of money. I tend to agree with that. I see it's not really a thing to me. I just like one of them to one day go in there. If they redecorate it, can someone just hang a flying V on the wall? Maybe put some Megadeth in the corner. That'd be cool.
Sick.
Right.
I mean, we have very different design choices that we would do with locations.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The decoration thing, I don't really care much how you decorate. Like, the only person that really helps is the interior decorator who gets paid.
I just want one big neon sign in that office that simply says, "Fuck dubstep."
Why though? What do you have against dubstep?
Fuck dubstep. No reason.
Fuck you, I like that.
I just like the idea of it. Just the Oval Office. Fuck dubstep in a massive neon sign. Who needs lighting?
I want professional fucking politicians to start using expletives more often.
I'd like them to start having entrance music, Titantrons, and in fact, fireworks and all that.
Ooh, should I when we have another State of the Union, should I do a heel entrance?
No. With Biden, it's the Benny Hill music.
Oh God. Oh, it depends. It depends how he walks in. We'll see. If he's walking in bumbling, I'll do a different thing. But yeah, I'll have to do that.
Or that really slow sort of tortoise walking sort of music. That's it. That's it. Yeah, sure, that one.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it regardless. Um, but no, okay. So yeah, he's been doing a whole bunch of things.
He's done a lot very quickly, I will admit.
I know they had to do They had to do everything really quickly, or else he was going to fall asleep.
Good on them for getting on it though, and sticking to their convictions. I haven't seen a 6-week lockdown though.
No. But he has been saying that he wants to do a whole bunch of things in 100 days. I don't know what it is with him in 100.
No,
but 100 has been the number that he's going for.
So that is actually a very common thing over here as well, and it has been reported that many people, the first 100 days, it did it on West Wing as well, actually, a TV show about US politics. The first 100 days is like that testament to what the kind of president you're going to have, you know, what they do in those first 100 days and what they do in the last 100 days. Is like a measure of the kind of president you get. Voice of Prospero, Tailed Feature got his channel deleted. What? Can you shout out some love for him, please? I love Tailed. Who the fuck did that? I know he lost his PayPal, so he lost his Patreon and Streamlabs, so he's on Subscribestar. His channel, though, really? I'm gonna check. He was alright.
That's some bullshit. What was it? Just boring ass fucking.
Okay, so he has his channel according to what I see here, but I do know he lost Streamlabs and Patreon. He has a Subscribestar. I will link it in the chat. Please consider going over and subscribing to him because he does cracking music. He does have another channel where he goes on hikes, and it's kind of around around the north. It's quite interesting. Sorry,
recall...
you got eaten from PayPal. Yeah, don't read the first one. Already read it. Too late. I've corrected. Yes, he did lose his PayPal. I don't know why, because he's a fairly harmless person. Thank you for the £10 worth of donations. That's very kind of you.
If I recall, Tail Feature was the one who wrote Dankula's intro.
Well, it was a cover of another song. But he did the electric guitar version of it, which is fantastic considering
it's banging.
Yeah, it was.
It slaps, as the kids say.
In it, yes.
In it.
So yes, the 100-day thing. It's a common thing over here because Boris basically for his first 100 days lost about 10 votes. Yeah, but he still turned it around, and he's doing okay. But I'll be honest, coronavirus has kind of ruined his premiership. That's a guarantee. I don't think he wins the next election unless Keir Starmer. Well, I'll be honest. If Keir Starmer carries on the way he is, I'm not entirely sure who wins. But the 100 days, they did it with Obama over here as well in the UK. I don't know if they did it over there for you, but over here they did, and it was a big deal. It matters a lot to us to know what someone is willing, how hard they're willing to work. I mean, to be honest, after 100 days. People do start to phone it in because they have recesses here and there. So, and it's not until
I feel like the first 100 days is a really shitty way to determine whether or not someone's going to be a good president.
I think you
should really look at the whole fucking
true, but they base it on how proactive someone is. That's what they base it on. They think, oh, he signed this many bills. He's busy boy, or she, which isn't entirely true at all. Oh, but all these good things have happened in the first 100 days. Right, that wasn't because of the last president, was it? Okay, it's all because of you.
No. Well, it depends.
Remember.
Was it Obama?
True. Yeah. It does depend, of course.
That's the other thing. And I've gotten into some arguments lately over... Because a bunch of my friends on Facebook, they're all fucking lefty shits, right? And... they are all basically like, oh, we have a real man in the White House again. And I'm like, ew, go suck his dick, why don't you? Why don't you actually talk about policy and the fact that his policies admittedly are zilch. There's nothing there. and you're basically just spouting off. He's not the orange man, so woohoo, we won, I guess.
I mean, the same people that have suddenly flip-flopped and gone, oh, he's signing these things and they're not what I voted for. Hang on, what? Okay.
Yeah, well, that's fucking nuts. See, there's so many things that piss me off about what's going on right now. I don't know if it's just the media who is just like falling over backwards saying, I can finally sleep at night thanks to Donald Trump no longer being in the White House. There was one fucking guy who I actually retweeted on my Twitter that was literally saying I can phone it in essentially for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
He was an opinion writer for the New York Times, and I was like, oh, great. I'm so glad they pay you. You're a fucking contributing member of society. Yes. I'm so happy.
Nothing more frightening than replacing one guy who might have been dementia riddled with one guy who is definitely riddled with dementia and has already ordered more troops into the Middle East, thereby kind of starting to nix some of the peace that was attained during Orange Man bad time.
Oh, not only that, but honestly, the worst offenders of this whole ordeal isn't even Biden. It's the goddamn Senate and
oh my god, they flipped. House.
Oh my god, they're psycho, dude. Did you see that during the inauguration? Okay, we didn't have just 5,000. We didn't have just 10,000. We had a whopping 20 to 30,000 National Guard in Washington, D.C. to hold down the scary protests that I don't even think happened.
No, they did. There was one guy with a MAGA
in New York, yeah.
Yeah, one guy. And I'm sat here like, it's only because he didn't bother reading the QAnon boards and be like, probably shouldn't have gone.
Yeah,
be honest,
but you know what? I actually respect him for going by himself.
Yeah,
he still had a message that he believed in. I couldn't care less if he went by himself.
Chances are most people had seen Trump's final message and been like, right, 4 years of this or 3 years, we'll come back, hopefully with someone either with Trump trying again or with another candidate that might stand a chance. But I am now intrigued because without his character at the front and with no platform for him to speak, I don't know how he's going to be able to rally if he wants to try again, either as an independent.
It's not going to be him. It's going to be somebody like him.
Trump. Yeah.
So Trump has floated the idea of creating another party, political party.
Yeah.
I believe it was the Patriot Party.
Mm-hmm.
Which pisses off Republicans for the most part because that will split the voter base.
That sounds like a
Here's
problem.
The thing, though. A lot of people who voted for Trump don't vote for Republicans anyway. They voted for Trump.
Yeah.
McConnell is one of those people who is really, really bitching about all the things that Trump ever did. And the reason why he's bitching is because, well, Donald Trump lost them the Senate, or so they believe.
Yeah.
They say this because, oh, you didn't back him when he said that the vote was improper. We'll use that word. And you, in fact, sold him down the river. So fuck you, said most of the Trump supporters. Yeah. It doesn't matter if I vote anyway. Okay. Well, whether or not you believe that's relevant, it had less to do with the Senate and more to do with, do you have the balls to back Donald Trump, because that's who we voted for.
Mm-hmm. I did notice people flipping the fuck out on Mitch McConnell because
he deserves it.
He has flipped quite quickly. I mean, the term "sucking up" isn't it's quite an understatement. Hang on in the chat. Yeah. He's apparently going to be running as a Florida congressman, and then from there we'll get a load of Trump reps in for 2022, and before then he's gonna go after election integrity. Really?
Good for him. That's a great idea, actually.
Can he do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's been. We're talking about Trump here.
Yeah, he's allowed to go back and be lesser than a president.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't think anyone would do that, but if he does,
Most don't, because most of them are old.
he'd be one of the few with Secret Service protection.
Most senators have a detail.
Yeah, but if he goes as
not Secret
congressman,
right.
that'd be something.
God, that would be also slightly terrifying though. Because then the question is, are you gonna censor an active person in Congress?
That would be very funny if their only focus is to try and get rid of him the moment he walks into Congress. That's just
you know they're gonna with the impeachment, right? That happened, and this was also during that 2-week hiatus, right? So he was impeached by the House, and if he now goes through the Senate and gets convicted, they can impose with a simple majority that he can no longer hold public office in the United States.
Right.
Which would totally put a damper on that plan right there.
There's a video that's been shared about now on Biden saying that he said there is nothing we can do to change the trajectory of the pandemic in the next several months. But I thought he was going to do a lockdown for 6 weeks. I guess he's really... Well, that seems almost like I'm going to posit this idea, but when I get here, be shown the data and realize, shit, I can't do anything.
Amazing.
Imagine
amazing that works like that.
Maybe you should just get on the production of whatever you want to call them, those injections, and hope they work. I guess hasn't he received one of those? Yeah, he did. He got inoculated, didn't he?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Because
there's been some weird shit going on with the vaccine too.
Yeah, I've heard. About
a bunch of people have been like mismanaging a lot of the vaccine.
Yeah.
They've had to like throw out a whole bunch of dosages that weren't kept in the proper refrigeration temperatures. Like all over the country. I think Los Angeles County has been like the worst to handle the fucking the vaccine. I don't know that for certain, but I feel like I remember reading that.
Right.
Point is, a lot of these distribution centers have not been properly handling these materials.
Yeah.
At which point I have to wonder, who the fuck is in charge of this? Because somebody needs to be fired or needs to fix this problem. If it's a genuine error and you were like, we need to keep this at 20 degrees, and we had it at 40, and for whatever reason my brain just counted that backwards, like, or I don't even know how the fuck you fucked that up, but whatever. If that's the issue, then fine, fix the problem, get on with it. But if you are intentionally or accidentally this bad at your job, I think you need to be fired. I think someone needs to replace you, and let's hop to it. Not likely to happen though.
No, it's not. Does make for interesting viewing, but no, nothing's going to happen, sadly. But there are also plans to have vending machines for COVID tests. That
interesting.
That's news to me.
Wait, hold on. You're going to have a vending machine that someone has to press a button and select the vending machine thing.
Or maybe it'd be like a card, a contactless payment. You can just sort of wave your card in front and not have to touch it.
Yeah, but not everyone has those kinds of cards.
I'm guessing that sounds like a someone else problem, and it's just done to try and make things more reliant on tech, which would piss a lot of people off. New York had to get rid of theirs for the whole state because of a very strict vaccine guideline they imposed that made it to hardly anyone could get it.
Oh yeah.
Lol.
And I think Texas actually made it so that certain zip codes were gonna get it faster than others.
Areas that had higher infection rate, or are they just on a lottery?
Allegedly, yes. In practicality, no.
That does not.
Basically, it means that a 16-year-old living in this zip code would get it faster than a 80-year-old woman with comorbidities. Sorry.
Oh boy.
See, look at this government mandated healthcare that everybody wanted, right? This is exactly what y'all get.
That'll be very
Because
interesting to see if he pushes through that.
we've talked about it, you and I,
Mhm.
privately about what your healthcare is and what it means and how it works, right? And we've had these discussions where right now we're talking about what a government mandated rollout of a vaccine has basically amounted to, and looky here, look at what I see a whole bunch of fucking failure.
Well, it's not gone so well so far, but it would be very interesting to see how this plans out, especially the rollout. Not the rollout. There was something else there that I've just completely forgotten. Great.
Yeah.
That happens to us a lot on the show.
Karma sent me a link to that fucking thing. I see a keypad. I see a fucking keypad on this thing. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, that's a fun, exciting thing. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Vending machines for COVID tests. That's nice. But I wanna circle back real quick to the absolute bullshit that was the guard presence in DC, because that's the thing that's gotten me a little peeved today. Because once the inauguration was over, they basically told them all to shove it. Capitol Police told them to get off the Capitol, and then they had to go and sleep in in a garage outside the Supreme Court. At which point, a whole bunch of representatives, bipartisan, I want to point out, flipped out and said, "What are you doing? How could you do this? These are your men and women who just literally were there to protect you. Maybe you have some goddamn fucking respect." And yeah, so they changed their tune pretty quickly on that, and yeah, they were allowed back in the Capitol. Allowed back into the Capitol.
Have you?
However,
oh, okay.
Well, however, several governors who had dispatched their National Guard got a bit upset. New Hampshire being one of them. Governor Abbott of Texas was another, and immediately withdrew all of their troops.
So you've been paying attention to the National Guard deployment numbers and how people are blaming, I believe people not Schumer, somebody else was Sean Hannity was blaming somebody for not mistreating the Capitol Hill National Guard that weren't in action, I guess. You've been paying have you at the same time been paying attention to the memes around this, like the Bernie memes? And
oh yes.
So before we get to those ones, because I haven't got any to show, but perhaps we could talk about them. There's one I saw that made me chuckle. It was a great one. It said that it had a picture of Capitol Hill with all the guards. It said Joe Biden is terrified to walk into the Capitol, guarded by 30,000 National Guard, security fences, concrete bollards, and razor wire because it's not secure enough. Underneath is an image of Trump and Kim Jong-un. Donald Trump walked alone into North Korea. And I was like, I mean, I'll be honest, North Korea's guns probably fire the wrong way anyway, so I wouldn't be too afraid. But there were people there. But at the same time, he has a bit of a point. It's not the strongest one, but yes. But now let's focus on the Bernie ones because they're funnier. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will get one and I'll put it on the screen. I will put it on the screen. Give me a moment. What did you think of the Bernie memes, by the way?
Oh, I loved them. I thought they were hilarious.
They were.
There were a bunch of them that were from like Star Wars that were pretty good. Game of Thrones was pretty good. There was one of them.
I got him playing
that
drums.
Was
I got him playing
the
drums.
Skyrim one.
I've got him on a drum kit in the middle of an empty field. There we go.
Yep, that one.
Yeah, I like that one. I will admit the memes were good.
Yeah, the memes were solid, but that was the takeaway, right? No one gave a fuck about anything else. Also, Garth Brooks is old as shit.
Garth Brooks is very funny though.
My God, I was so surprised at how bad he looked.
There's some pictures of this Bernie meme with an old man sat next to Jay and Silent Bob from those movies, and I was like, I couldn't tell because of the image if that was actually an old man sat there or if it was Bernie. I couldn't tell the bloody difference. I genuinely didn't know. But I gotta give him credit. At least he was there, right? Looking warm. Right?
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't give a fuck either. Like, some people, oh my god, there was some lady who was saying that the way that Bernie Sanders dressed was misogyny because it was at the it was at such a it was at such a important fucking event for women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
We have a question in the chat that someone's asked me if I could explain the Great Reset. The answer is no, because I don't actually understand it. So I would have to take time to understand it to then explain it. All I know is that many computing forever was a big voice for he said that it was happening, the Great Reset was happening, but I legitimately didn't pay enough attention. And also, I would run the risk of getting yeeted like he did if I made a video talking about it, because I know it was a big talking point in his more recent content. And so I'm not entirely sure if I could. Do you know what it is, by the way?
The Great Reset is the idea that a whole bunch of basically large. It's the New World Order, just repackaged.
Oh, okay, right. I mean, that's a simplification, I'm sure. But
basically the thing is basically what it is.
Have you
and
tried?
I just sent you in a DM the thing about misogyny.
Misogyny.
From a Twitter handle, it says, "This is misogyny. Tell me how it wasn't done purposefully to cast a shadow on Women's Historic Day and get in the press. Same as 2016 primary. White wealthy men cosplaying being poor and disrespectful because they know this is the response they'll get. Media attention."
I'll get the image and put it on the screen for people.
You. It's not all about you.
There we go.
But,
the tweeting question is on the screen for those who are interested. I might increase the size to get rid of the like dislike part, or the like part anyway, so you can read it a bit clearer. If you have the stream on full screen, yes, then you should be able to now read it. I don't think any of this was misogyny in the slightest. I think it was just...
No, really? I
think it was cringe. But, that it's your big moment to celebrate your greatest democracy on the planet.
By the way, that account, it's protected now.
Imagine my shock. I might put that in my This Week at Twitter video because it's funny.
Yeah. I'm a woman, and even I find that insufferable. There are a lot of things that I find insufferable from Twitter feminists that even my own fiance goes, "Why? Why are they doing this?"
It'd be
Why
interesting. Actually, you mentioned that's an interesting point, because one of the big talking points, obviously, he wanted representation in his cabinet. He has certainly shifted it 45% female, 55% men. Or is it something similar to that anyway? I'd be very interested to see what policies they now put forward and champion as equality. I'm actually intrigued. Because I don't actually know what his policy is.
Me either.
Yeah.
And honestly, I expect that their equality is going to be, you are all equally able to be arrested for doing things that you are guaranteed rights to do in our Constitution.
Right.
Remember that the crime bill was put forward by Joe Biden in the 90s, I believe. It was either the 1990s or the 1980s. I can't remember which. And then you had Kamala Harris, who withheld evidence.
Oh, the
keep people in prison.
Yeah, the prison thing. That, by the way, people said that she'll be the next US president. If you vote for that as president with what she has done, and it's such a flagrant misuse of humans, it's a violation of human rights. That is a greater affront to your democracy than Trump, I would argue, because he's not... What has he done in politics that's hurt people like that? Whereas what did she do when she was involved? Was he an attorney
Well,
general or something?
obviously he demonized people, Meg. Like,
You're right,
you
feelings.
can't
I'm
just
sorry.
do that.
I'm sure someone's going to get quite annoyed by what I just said there. And I know that it sounds like I'm trying to simplify, but as an outsider, legit, I see it as, look what he actually did, and look what she actually did. I'm sorry, but that is way beyond what anyone should consider acceptable. And I know prisoners should be regarded as, to some argue them to be less than human, depending on the nature of their crime. My view is they're there for a sentence,
Somewhere.
nothing more. You should never, if they rehabilitate, sure, but you should never be erasing their human rights or violating them for cheap labour, which is what she did, and that is disgusting.
I mean, some prisoners, and I'm talking about death row inmates, right? The worst of the worst kind of people. Yeah, okay, I don't mind them stripping themselves, people stripping them of their humanity. They really don't deserve it. My problem was that she did this for low offense drug possession and drug crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even like it was essentially this is a straw man. I will say that right now. It would be as if somebody got arrested for possession, except they never had weed on them. In fact, the cops had placed weed on them, and then they were like, no, we're going to keep you in prison. It is along those lines of scumbaggery that nobody at all should be a fan of. And the ability for liberals and Democrats to wipe that all away and say, la 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 la, I'm not listening, I don't care, it's not Trump. God, and they call us disillusioned with reality. I get really pissed off at this shit, man. I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the best comment I've heard in the media in the last week, though, or in the last couple of days, was that Nancy Pelosi had requested the National Guard to be armed with crew-manned machine guns at the inauguration.
Right.
Take a second and think about what that entails, or what that intends to prevent, and how. That basically tells me that your way of fixing the potential that people would be disapproving of your choices of a president would be to gun them all down with presumably 50 caliber bullets. That was Nancy Pelosi's option. And that was genuinely what she asked for. Can you think of another human being in Congress with that much contempt for human life? This is why I went to that from the Kamala Harris thing.
Well, there are some with a blind spot to their own backyard. Ilhan Omar being one, with the burning happening in her own constituency. I don't know what you call it. I call it constituency.
Yeah, no, that's definitely correct.
The burnings, and then talking about the damage done by Trump's administration, but it wasn't his administration that allowed those fires. It was the inaction
Nancy
of
50 Cal Pelosi.
Nice. That, by the way, that is a very that to be honest, that, and El Gusto actually says the word I was going to use. That shows the absolute elitist mentality of I'm above these people.
I don't think they even consider us.
No,
people.
I know, but it is that mentality of you're beneath me.
Yeah.
And I don't care for it. When politicians in this country say it, I promise you, they don't get away with it. They try it all the time. The only thing they now have on the people here is that sheeple crowd control bill, the Coronavirus Act. And nobody likes it anymore. We're done with it. To the point many conservatives have now said, yeah, we need an exit strategy because this is starting to piss people off.
Pelosi being elitist is the coldest take ever. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the real take is that she cares so little for anything that is not her and her immediate friends and family that she would request bullets to be used on the American people in akin to a World War I storming the trenches through no man's land,
Mm-hmm.
as somebody would try and protest the inauguration. Ignore the fact that they fucking put 25,000 National Guards in Washington, D.C. No, you also wanted them armed with fucking machine guns, man. There's no excuse. There is no, like, you know how they used to make the clown world joke?
Yeah.
Clown world's it's no longer clown world. This is darker than a clown world.
Or is it?
I think so.
Willing to.
This is a lot scarier than, it's humorous.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, dude.
With
That your people, your elected officials would care so little that they would be willing to mow down people who had a difference of opinion.
It is a very nasty mentality to have. I do have a question then, off the topic of Biden and onto the Republicans.
Okay.
What do they do now, and what is going to happen for the next 4 years, do you think?
There are going to be individuals in the Senate, in the House, who are, I don't want to call them Trump loyalists, but I'll call them freedom-loving individuals.
Hawley was one.
Who believe in a lot of the things that Donald Trump preached, whether that be a nationalistic approach to our foreign affairs, whether that be immigration control, in a reduction in Middle Eastern entanglement, who will stand against the establishment in their requests.
Okay.
And I think that it's only going to be a matter of time before they get called out for being the same white supremacists that AOC called them after the Capitol riot.
Well, there's already people saying that certain people should be removed from office or arrested for their involvement. So I guess my next question is more prediction based.
I think there's going to be actual efforts to do so.
Okay, so the next thing is more prediction, as I said. Do you think Biden makes it through this term?
Ooh, that is a question.
Not does he go for a second term? Does he simply do one term? Does he survive a term?
I think he's only going to do one term. How he does one term, I don't know.
Okay.
I would love for Biden to, get a little bit older and, realize, his family says, you know what, this is too stressful for him. He should go. He should retire. He should stand out. All that stuff. He should go enjoy the rest of his life and just sit on his porch and enjoy, his life. I wanted that so badly during the primaries, during the election season, right?
Okay.
I hope that's what happens.
Okay, so
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm gonna say, for the sake of it, I do believe he'll be a one-term president. I don't believe he'll run for a second term, though. That's my prediction. I do think, though, he will make the term. I think he'll retire, and then Vice President Harris will take his place. Well, not as obviously can't be as president, but will run as leader, I guess. Do you think that the Republicans will regain the House in 2 years?
Yes,
because they normally do.
Yes, I do. It does normally do, but mostly because right now Biden is flipping on a whole bunch of policies that he said he wouldn't.
Okay.
I think he's going to lose everything.
So I think they will, because it normally happens. We had this discussion during Trump's term. Yes. Do you think, even though Pelosi said this would be our last term as Speaker, how long is the term for a Speaker, by the way?
2 years, I think.
How do you think, when she said...
Term for Speaker, I don't know.
Right, she said this would be our last term as a Speaker. Do you think she'll stay true to that?
Depends. If the blood of the innocent works to keep her young.
2 years.
That was a That was a tongue-in-cheek joke for all those out there.
Uh,
Let's see.
2 year.
The Speaker of the House
2 year term.
term.
2 year term.
There you go. Okay. Yeah.
So she said that
Because
she'd only,
most representatives are 2 years. That's why.
yeah, she said she'd only do 2, and well, no, not 2. She said this will be her last one, I believe, but I don't believe she will. I believe because Biden's in office, she will stay there. So I do think she'll stay either until he retires or loses, which I don't think will happen. I still think he'll stand down. Okay. Last question, I guess, then. Say, hypothetically, no Trump. Who would be the best person on the Republican side at this stage, which is quite early? Who do you think would be someone worth keeping an eye on to possibly run against him or against Vice President Harris in 4 years?
Ted Cruz? Maybe?
Surprised you didn't
Ted Cruz has proven himself to be kind of more of the based type. He's been more willing to go out on a limb and either whether it be speak on behalf of the people, or it would be to present in front of the Supreme Court, any of that kind of shit. I don't think that it would be a bad idea if he did go that route.
Ted Cruz is probably the biggest name I can think of. There was one other guy.
The biggest one I can think of.
I don't think Mitch Romney would run.
Romney.
Yeah, he's not very popular at the moment. I don't think someone like Mitch McConnell. Don't think he could do it.
No.
I would laugh personally. I think it'd be from an outside, very traditional mentality. It'd be very interesting to see Pence run against them. Don't think he will, but I think it'd be very interesting.
That would piss off a whole lot of people.
It would, but it'd be very interesting for me because of how calm he is. That's very interesting.
It's not going to matter how calm he is. Half the country thinks that he is a traitor to Donald Trump.
True.
Tucker if not Cruz. A traitor to the country, at least a traitor to one who stood by and...
Yeah, I know. But again, I said just from an interesting stance. Of course, I don't believe he will. I think he might be one of those VPs that just walks away and enjoys retirement. Nothing wrong with that. I do think Cruz is the more likely, but I don't know if he'd get the... It's too early to say, really, but it would be interesting to see him try again, because he did before, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Anne Frankenberry says Gowdy, as in Trey Gowdy, a former South Carolina senator. I don't think so. He's kind of been... I don't know. He's been a contributor on Fox.
Oh, Ann Coulter. Jeez. Oh.
Don't. People are just going to not like her just because of who she is.
Okay. We're going to leave it there. I think we're done this week because we've reached our time. But I honestly, this next week's going to be very interesting because I'm kind of curious to see what Biden tries to do and what his intent, if he makes any intentions to the United Kingdom.
I want to see him actually reach out, but I just don't know if it's
I hope he does because special relationship. You're not Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up. You're from Delaware. You're American. You may have heritage elsewhere. Seriously, you're not Irish. Shut the fuck up. But it'd be interesting.
Go on. Tell me how you feel.
You know what I think about that nonsense. I've had this discussion too many times. But I'm English. What do I know? Biden will conquer your kingdom. It's possible he will, but that's all right. I'm from a kingdom called Moistonia, and Moistonians don't give a shit. Ask them; they'll agree. As we're done here, is there anything you'd like to promote?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm trying to get my bearings on how I want to proceed. There's been a whole bunch of topics that I wanted to talk about, and then just something else takes precedent.
That's fair.
Right now, because I'm doing the whole house thing, it's like...
Yeah.
It's just not my intention.
No, I fully appreciate that. You've got priorities.
Can't wait till I finally be in the house, though. Then I can make a whole bunch of shit, and I'm going to be like, hey, guys, I'm back at my house.
Oh, yeah, the election fraud stuff. That will keep going for a while, and as will the Beijing Biden comments and whether or not he's, in fact, a legitimate president. There's many asterisks or quotations around his name. The word president, I think. If you watch any Sticks, Hex, and Hammers content, I think he's been referencing this a lot. I'm surprised he hasn't been yeeted yet. I have nothing to promote. I'm streaming tomorrow, but I don't really care. Thank you for joining, everyone. It has been 2 weeks, so I hope this was up to par for you all. I found it quite fun anyway. We will be back. Are you here next week?
Yes.
Then we shall be back next week. Thank you all very much for joining. Thank you for the donations and for smashing the like. I would like 2 more to get to 50 ideally, but I'll settle for 48. So say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.